Hello, everyone. All right. Wow. Having a look today, it's on the Finlogix market sentiment tool. That's exactly it. So today, folks, as usual, it's Wednesday. So every Wednesday, we have the Finlogix market sentiment tool webinar. As usual, I always begin to, telling a little bit what is every webinar. So this one is focused on market sentiment. And for lucky us, Finlogix does have this this sentiment tool. Then we're going to be looking at that, and we're going to be looking to trade the minority of the market sentiment. So the market sentiment tool basically shows me where the majority of the players are positioned. So let's say we have 80% into the long. We would be looking to go short because we know that majority of the traders do unfortunately lose money into the financial markets because they don't have the right knowledge to be using. They don't have us to be conducting webinars as every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But that's from not what we have to talk. So that being said, then I'm going to be marking my entry, my TP, and my stop loss. And we're going to be discussing if it should be a good trade to take or not. A few trades in consideration today are the Euro Aussie, the Aussie Yen, the New Zealand dollar, and the Aussie CAD. Okay. So, right. So that's what we're going to be looking today. I know it looks like, oh, what is this? But it's pretty simple to read, and we're going to go over through. Okay. So I'm sorry. A few things before we start. It's free. Okay. So you can have access as well. I'm going to send you the link for this into the chat, so you can click on that. So like Finlogix sentiment tool. All right, it's on the chat, so you guys can have a look on it, and you can just click on that and then go with the flow with me. All right. Otherwise, if you for some reason can't click on the link, you can just type finlogix.com, and then you're going to come to this website, and then you go into tools, and then you come into market sentiment. Just wait a few minutes to load. Okay, there we go. And there you have it. All right, so what is the most important thing here for us to understand is the part where it says long or short. Okay, so let me just grab these. So we have long here and short here. And then we have the symbols, okay, and then all the others. We have Forex, we have indices, and we have commodities. Today, as usual, we're just going to be looking at Forex. So whatever the majority is for, in this case, is short, we're going to be able to do the opposite. Okay. Remembering that this updates every 15 minutes. So you can see the last update was today at 4 p.m. So 15 minutes ago, just in matters of seconds, it's going to be updating again. Let me have a look into my phone. In 20 seconds. So in 20 seconds, it will be updated again. So every 15 minutes, it gets updated. And then that will change most likely. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So 11, 14, 16. Let's have a look. Yep. So 11, 16, and then 11, 14, 16. So that one changed to 19, and this one changed from 14 to 16. Okay. So it does change quite a lot. And that's why I always say, keep an eye on it. Okay. The trades we're going to take today, yeah, that's good. But please always remember to come here at least once a day and check what is going on. Okay, because if you leave the trade there and then cool, not taking care of it, not properly managing it, then there's no literally sense for you to just, trade this as strategy, because you should be willing to at least have a look every day. Cool. So just going to open a chart as well. The first one is Euro Aussie. It's still above 10%, so it's on 11%. It says to, there we go. So it would be looking for us to go long on this, okay? Well, first scenario looks very attractive, okay? It looks very attractive because you have the break, sort of a break, I wouldn't really count this as a break, because if you look just behind, just scroll like this, just a second. Okay, we can see that there were some sort of consolidation on this zone for quite a while. There we go. So it's not going pretty much anywhere except on this range there is at the moment. So there's not much to be done here. But we are above the 50% of this consolidation. So I would say 50% of this consolidation somewhere around here. So we are above that area. For that reason, what can probably happen is that the majority will keep selling it, and therefore this will become less than 11%. So if it's below 10%, let's say right here, Euro pound, okay, or Aussie CAD. Well, Aussie CAD is on 11%, but Euro pound is on 5%, and US dollar CAD is on 1%. Anything below the 10%, it's I'm looking to do the opposite. Okay, I'm not looking to do the actual what is saying, that in this sense is a strong sell. So in this sense, I would be looking to sell. Okay, cool. So that being said, let's go for the 1 hour time frame so you guys can see a little bit more movement. There is only one problem here, okay? The problem is that this can be consolidated somewhere around here. And if that gets consolidated there, that won't be good, because that was already consolidated here. And then we have this uptrend sort of trying to start. Like exactly the same here, and then here, and then sort of breakout. I don't like to count these as a breakout because it's too small of a breakout. And then you can see that it's just ranging at this point. There's not much happening, to be honest, with everyone here. So what I would look to do is, if it breaks below these lows, taking a short would be great. Okay. So that's what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to take a short into Euro Aussie. We think maybe somewhere around here. Okay, so that could be somewhere around my my entry and my exit and my take profit. Okay, and just to combine, for those that have been following me for a while, we do have a massive box here. Okay, so 50% of this box is somewhere around here that haven't yet been reached. We do have another box here that's a 1 hour time frame, and the 50% is somewhere around here, haven't been reached yet. Okay. Look, are you saying that the market can just dump to this area? No, I'm not saying this, but if you look back, okay, that's the easiest way to backtest. Just looking back, we can find a lot of boxes. For instance, this one, or maybe this one. Okay, So what happened is that the market tends to come back at those areas. Okay. So especially if you are on the right trend. So 1, 2, and then 3. So this one we got ready. Okay. We have a massive one here. If you can see that. So that shows to me one thing. There's a study that proves that the market is completely random. Okay, and that's called a Brownian motion study. Okay, for those who like to do a bit of a research, this is the Brownian motion movement. Okay, there's nothing to do with market concepts. It's more towards physics and chemistry. Okay, but that basically shows that the random movement of tiny particles suspended in a fluid, liquid or gas, due to collisions with the surrounding fluid molecules. So the collisions is the buy and the sell orders, the limits, the buy limits, the short, sell limits, etc. And then the fluid molecules are the orders that it is being placed into top of the book market. So that means that the person is actually clicking and then selling, clicking, selling, not placing limit orders. It's placing market orders. Okay, so that has a very big take into financial markets, especially if you put here, financial markets or capital markets will do. Okay, and there is a way to measure how fluid or how gas the market is. Okay, but that's a little bit too complex, out of context for the moment. But that's what I'm saying. Those types of consolidations, they are when the fluid is trapped in a sense. And then when we have a big push down or a big push up, it's dispersions. Okay. So look at this one. This is hugely up. Okay. That's when Australian dollar was valuing, was worthing nothing. Anyways, so what I expect here is a short position. Okay. Basically long short talk. All right. So looking to short Euro Aussie yen. Let's have a look on that. Okay. All right. So there's one thing for those who have been coming to the webinars a few months already. Into Forex, especially, and also in crypto, but into Forex, you have the base and you have the quote. Okay. So the base is the first currency, so the front currency, and the quote is the second currency. It's the quote currency. If this person here is strong, the market goes up. If this is weak, market goes down. If this is strong, market goes down. If this is weak, market goes up. Okay, so it's basically just the opposite. Because if we have a strong Australian dollar, then what's going to happen with Euro against the Australian dollar? Well, if Euro is weak and Australian dollar is bullish, it's strong, Euro Aussie will go down. So if we have that trade into the portfolio, we are betting that the Australian dollar will be stronger than the other currency. So that means that if we want to look to trade AUD against the Japanese yen, if we want to trade that short, that means that our portfolio is naturally hedged to zero. Why? Because you have one AUD position long, that would be the Euro AUD, and you have one position AUD positioned short, That is the Australian dollar against the yen, the Japanese yen. So long is a plus, AUD is a minus, short is a minus. So oopsie, is a minus. So that is equal 0. So plus and minus is basically nothing. There's nothing to do. Okay. And that means that if you make money into Euro Aussie, your money will be offset by Aussie yen. And if you make money on Aussie yen, you will be offset by Euro Aussie. Okay. Yes, I know, very, very tricky, but it's just one thing that I would like to mention for everyone to don't get caught into, oh, okay, someone just sent a message. President Trump says, I like President Xi of China, but he is very tough and extremely hard to make a deal with. Trump just posted it in his X media. Well, let's have a look then. Trump X. Let's see if I have access to it, because I don't have one. Okay. I don't think he posted that onto X. Yesterday, horrific attack on Boulder, Colorado. Well, there's nothing here into X. At least into X, there's nothing here. Wow, it has 105 million. That's quite a lot. Anyways, so that's exactly what I was just explaining for everyone. Okay. So just don't think that that's it. Cool. All right. So coming back, GBP, Japanese yen. Okay. What is that saying to us? It's a strong buy. Okay, 19%. So just one other thing. Always be careful, okay, when we have these sort of extremes close to 10%, because that can sweep very quickly and that can jump from 19 to 40, and then you're going to get caught into a position that you wouldn't be willing to take. So always extremely careful and always check multiple times during a day if you can, because it's free. You can just come there, go into your phone. You can even do it through your you can even do it through your phone as well, because it's a mobile version as well. Okay, cool. So GBP Japanese yen is looking to go long. A few things to take in consideration as of we are at the moment. A lot of risk has been pumped out into the market. So what is the market doing is shifting from risk on currencies to risk off currencies. So what that means is, if you look at Japanese yen, for instance, is a very strong currency when the market is, a little bit too risk. So at the moment, we are experiencing a risky scenario. And what that means is, if you are a big investor, you're not willing to take risk, you're willing to offset that risk towards something else. There's investors that offset through carbon, like ETFs. But there's the Forex is basically buying Japanese yen, Swiss franc, used to buy US dollars. I'm not too sure if they would be looking to do that at the moment. But anyway, so for this scenario, I would look to wait for the Japanese yen, and maybe just don't touch it for the moment, okay? Because there's too much risk on, risk off, risk on, risk off, risk on, risk off. And every week is a risk, and then, we never know what can possibly happen next week. You guys saw that? Just change it. Anyway, so Japanese yen, Australian dollar against the US dollar. Well, let's have a look on that. Remember, we are short on Euro Aussie. Okay, so we are short on Euro Aussie. So that means that we're looking to long Australian dollar against the Europe. Okay, so for me, it would much more make sense to go long on Australian dollar than go short. Okay, and that quite looks interesting. We do have somewhat of a support here that we can possibly go above those highs. So long here, stop loss could be, it would be best to be down here, and the take profit could be at least 1 to 2. Okay, so 66 pretty much. 65,800, sorry. 65,800 would be the one. Okay, so yeah, that's my opinion into Aussie dollar. Pound Aussie. Okay, again, so pound Aussie is looking to go long. Okay, so it's above 10%. We would be looking to go short if we do that. And then you need to be a conviction. Should I go long or short in Australian dollar? Well, we have one saying long. We have another one saying long. Why would I go short? Okay, so just again, it just makes much more sense to trade on this way than just try to gamble, let's say. PAUD. We can have a look into the market. There you go. Being pretty consolidated, to be honest with today. But there is something here. If we look, there are, one high here, another high here, and then another. It hasn't been yet another high because it hasn't break the bottom. But if that breaks the bottom here, it will be another high. So we have 1, 2, 3 consecutive lower highs. Okay, and that will make us way probably towards 207,300. Okay, so if you want to take the risk and short now, it's one option. If you want to have a little bit more confidence, wait for the pullback and then short to this area. Okay, that is actually another confluence level with, that's another confluence level with this support line back here. Okay, lots and lots of touches, and then resistances and supports and goes like that. Cool. So coming back, so we have these, that is the neutral ones. Okay, so neutral means neutral. Don't do anything. Just leave it there and keep watching. So if you do what I say to, come here at least twice a day, at least once a day if you can, but come and have a look into it because that's important. See how those neutral pairs are going. Okay, let's say you came here at 4:30. Try to come here at 5:30 and see 1 hour later what changed and how that changed. Did it change for positive? Did it change for negative? How did that go? Where are we standing at the moment? Because in this way, you can keep a track record in a sense of how that works. Cool. So jumping ahead, Euro against the CHF. So let's have a look on Euro CHF. Okay. Yeah, very, very consolidated market. We are literally here on this range. Okay, we haven't moved anywhere on this range. But again, making lowers. Okay, so going short on this one would make sense. because we have an Euro Aussie short, we have an Aussie dollar long. So Euro is short, so it would make sense for us to have this into the portfolio. Maybe if we get a little bit more less risk, because the stop loss would have to be too high and I don't want to carry this trade too much. So if we can maybe wait for a break towards this level and then put our stop losses above this high, I'll take profit above below these lows. That could be a nice setup. Okay, so let me just get the positioning. So let's say here, here. Had to be at least, wow, okay. Yeah, well, okay, that works because there is some bottoms, there's some liquidity here. Yeah, so that's good. That could potentially work. Okay, so if you are patient enough, there is another setup here on EURCHF short, waiting for that to get break and then retest, and then we can look to trade shorts. Okay, cool. Yen, again, not looking to trade the yen. New Zealand dollar short. Okay. So we have Australian dollar. Okay. So we are locked to short the US dollar. So if we're looking to short the US dollar, therefore we're looking to short NZD USD. Long New Zealand dollar. But in this case, it's not. So we're just going to leave it aside. Okay. Euro yen, not looking to touch euro yen. Australian dollar against Canadian dollar. Again, same thing. We're looking to long Australian dollar, not to short Australian dollar, because we already have two positions on the portfolio. That is one long AUD USD and another one short Euro Aussie. So that means that we are long Australian dollar. So we are net long Australian dollar. Euro pound. Euro pound is, oh, okay, but just watch out because this one here, it's nearly reversing. Okay, so it's on 11% at the moment. So that means that any chance of this, there is any time that can be reversed. Okay. So euro pound, strong sell, it says 95%, and then 5% only into the short. So that would be looking to go long euro pound. But again, we already short euro Aussie and we already short euro CHF. Okay. And US dollar CAD, only 1% short. So that is definitely looking to a long setup. But we're already short on US dollar, so therefore it doesn't make any sense for us to go against that. All right, so US dollar CAD. So that would be a long trade and not a short trade. Okay, cool. So for today we have long AUD USD, short Euro AUD, and short Euro CHF if that breaks down. In a sense, we have Euro Aussie and Aussie dollar. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it from. Sorry, just drinking some coffee. From my opinion. Now, if we look into economic calendar, there are some very important releases for today that I would like you guys to keep an eye at. Let me just refresh that. Cool. Should I? Good. Okay. So we have the JOLTS. Sorry, we have the. Oh, there you go. I was like, where it is. We have the ADP employment change expected to be 115K from 62K previously. And also we have a Fed chair speaking. That's very important. Okay, so it's going to be speech at 10:30 p.m. in Australia time. This is Sydney time. Okay, John. If you are from somewhere else, you can just click on here on this right hand tool here, and you can choose where you are. Okay, cool. I'm going to send this link on the chat as well. So that's the economic calendar from Finlogix. Cool. So I've sent on the chat, and you guys can have you guys can click on it and then go and get redirected to this page. Cool. What else? And then we have the Bank of Canada interest rate decision. So expected to maintain the same, no changes. It's going to be quite interesting to see how that goes. But that's pretty much it for today. Tomorrow is Thursday. I'm going to be back. You can have a look on the calendar tomorrow. I will be back into 4 to 5 p.m. as normal. So if you guys have any questions during the day, just put them aside and write it down on a paper and bring it tomorrow at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Cool. Thanks everyone. Have a great rest of the week, rest of your day, and I'll chat to you tomorrow. Thank you all. Bye bye.